You know what time it is. You know what time it is.
How firm thy friendship. Oh,
you know what time it is. Roll with them boys of the fall. You know what time it is. On the ground with a nose for the ball. You know what time it is. Blood, sweat, and them tears for this game. Leaving it all out on the field with no fear for you lames. And it's Buckeyes by a billion. We in the building with over 100,000. We represent from the uttermost to the public housing. And if we don't play, our wide receivers got your secondary shook, so they cook them like Bobby Flay. Hey, stay out of my way and trust me, cause I know it's a wage. Somebody please give this brother an eye. Come on.
What up, Buckeye Nation? Welcome to the Buckeye Boys, where we talk about college football with real fans. I'm Devin. That's Mello. And it's getting exciting out there in Buckeye Nation, man. But Mello, before we get into that, how you doing, bro?
Man, I'm good, brother. Can't complain here on another day. Chilling with the Scoop family, the BBZ family. So recruiting is hot right now. So we're on a heater. So I'm excited, man.
Yeah, for sure. Chat, we appreciate you guys showing up. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you have not already. We are streaming on Scoop, and we are forever grateful to Scoop. We're part of the Scoop family, man. Their family, and they allow us to stream on here, to just spice up their channel as well as help boost our channel over there on Buckeye Boys. So go check us out over on our Buckeye Boys channel as well. We've got a lot more content over there. But yeah, man, recruiting is heated up. Over on our Twitter account, we shared a couple things a few days ago about how about to go on a little heater here with the Buckeyes. So Kari Wilder committed, of course, Favor Key committed. And there's been some more recent commitments as well, and everybody's freaking out, trying to figure out who it is and all that stuff. All I can say is, we speak with several recruits. There's things we can share, things we cannot share, but it's good news coming for the Buckeyes, man. We're going to dive into some recruiting updates and a few things that we know on here, but it's a good time to be a Buckeye, man. Did a fire interview with Xavier Griffin and his mom yesterday. If you haven't seen that, you're going to want to go check that out. But what the Buckeyes are doing on these official visits, we've always known that the Buckeyes are really good at official visits, but they've turned the heat up this year. I haven't been able to figure out the exact details of what it is that they've turned up, but I do know from talking to different recruits that the heat has turned up pretty high on these official visits in terms of, wanting some of these guys to join this class and get in on what the Buckeyes got going for themselves right now. So there is somebody on official visit right now. I believe he's there till tomorrow, if I'm correct, and that is Darius Gray. We've had him on this channel. He'll be coming on next week with us to talk about how that official visit went. He's taken several official visits. Big on faith, big time interior offensive lineman. Tyler Bones doing a great job with the relationship there. But nothing new coming out of that visit right now. We will be able to find out more information for y'all on that one. And you guys are going to be able to see it for yourself because he's coming on our show next week. So we'll have some information for you there. Mello, anything to add about Darius Gray being on his official visit?
Man, I think he's going to have a great time. We're right there in the running. He talked to us off camera the last time, and we're up there. We're pretty high. So if they knock out this OV for him, I wouldn't be surprised to see a boom coming from that guy soon. But we're going to dive into that next week when we talk to him and ask him how his experience was and where Ohio State stands as of now.
Yeah, for sure. I'll just start with a couple updates, man. A new offer went out to the number 5 linebacker in the nation, TJ White Jr., 6'2", 225. A lot of his film is from the edge. However, he's from Mississippi. I'm digging to find out some information there, but I don't know, man. It's just interesting that James Laurinaitis is putting out an offer this late to yet another extremely high-end linebacker. I would love to find out why, right? Part of me wants to believe that there's no way James Laurinaitis is going to put out an offer unless there's some type of interest there. But I thought the same thing about the number 1 D tackle when we had him on our show. And he just straight up said, nah, man, it's too late. The Buckeyes came in too late. So interesting to find out there. Another change, man, this weekend. So these next 2 official visits are the biggest official visits in terms of star power coming in, number of players coming in. So we have a change to this upcoming weekend. Ernest Rankings, a 6'6", 285 defensive tackle, the number 111th player nationally, number 14 defensive lineman, is coming this Friday through Sunday. So he has added us to his official visit list. He has been to Auburn and Florida State already, and he has Georgia scheduled after us. And this is giving me a lot of Kari Wilder vibes, our most recent defensive line, or only defensive line commit, but that's kind of the vibes we have there. Ohio State got in late with him, but whatever they did, they made up some serious ground. And that's the same type of vibes I'm getting here with Ernest Rankings. Everybody talking about the ground that needs to be made up, and we're late. But the truth is this dude's coming in for an official visit. I do see on a couple of boards people are questioning whether he's going to actually make it or not. But I think he's going to make it, right? He reached out and scheduled this thing. So there's interest there. We'll see what's going on here on the Buckeye Boys. We've told you, don't worry too much about defensive line recruiting because Ryan Day and the Buckeyes got something up their sleeve, and I think it's what they're putting together on these official visits. But anything there, Mello, and we'll kind of go down the list of some other defensive linemen that we have come visiting this weekend.
So being in the location where I'm at in Georgia, I'm surrounded by a lot of Georgia podcasts, a lot of Georgia people, a lot of people that are affiliated with the program a little bit, and they're pretty confident that he's going to end up a Georgia Bulldog. And I just say time will tell. You know who's not coming this weekend, unfortunately? Justice Fitzpatrick. He has shut down his recruitment, and he's going to stay in with UGA. That was massive of them to get him to shut it down, because if Justice ended up in Columbus this weekend, I would have put in a boys boom that he was flipping. So they're putting heat on. It seems like a lot of these programs are starting to put the heat on the kids to shut down their recruitments. What I think is happening is like a lot of the NIL packages are being discussed. Paperwork is being signed, whether it's legal or not legal, and kids are shutting down their recruitment. We already heard Kirby Smart saying that kids are getting paid $20,000 a month just to shut down their recruitment and stay committed all the way through signing day. So it's pretty interesting and wild times that we're living in right now.
It is, man. We've always known that college football recruiting and NIL, the whole thing, that it was just kind of adapt and conform to whatever's going on in that moment. And that's what you're seeing going on now with teams. They're just kind of adjusting based off their experience they had last year. They're also adjusting to these new rules, these new laws coming out that the NCAA is enforcing with NIL and all these other things. So it's a lot to handle there. I read a little thing that Ohio State is opening a new department of like sports something. I don't know what it is, but
the sports group.
Yes. Well, no, not the NIL group, another group, more of like research on how to best handle situations like this. Okay. But I don't know much about that. But so as far as defensive linemen, some more news there. This weekend, we do have some big time D linemen coming in to visit. The 6'4", 360-pound Glenville product, Jameer Perez, is coming in for an official visit. He has been camping at Ohio State. He's my favorite here on the Buckeye Boys as far as D tackles go. I just love the potential that he carries. I talk to him frequently. We were just messaging back and forth on X, and just straight up, you know, there's some people wondering if he might have committed right to the Buckeyes or whatnot. To my knowledge, that has not happened yet, right? But I believe that it's going to happen this weekend. Another defensive lineman, Keyshawn Eliezer, 6'5", 205 pound defensive end who the Buckeyes have been in on for quite some time. His recruitment is picking up some heat. And it seems that a lot more teams are trying to get in on this guy, but we'll see him here this weekend. And then the number 66 player nationally, the number 7 defensive lineman in the nation, PJ Dean, will be here this weekend. That's going to be a big visit. He is a Buckeye lean currently. The Buckeyes really did move the needle on the last time that he was here, and I think the Buckeyes are sitting in a very good spot for him. And not last, yeah, we talked about Ernest rankings already. So yeah, last but not least, Jackson Ford, 6'4", 240, 202 player nationally, number 15 defensive end, is also coming in for an official visit. So you look at Ernest rankings, top 100 player nationally. PJ Dean, top 100 player nationally. Jameer Perez, 6'4", 360, way underrated. Keyshawn Eliezer, 6'5", 205, recruitment heating up. Jackson Ford, top 200 player nationally. All on the D line, coming for official visits. So that is just this weekend. That does not include that next weekend. But Mello, anything to add to our defensive linemen we have coming in this weekend?
Man, I'm excited. I want to see what's going to happen with Jackson Ford, because we've had him on the Buckeye Boys with us. And at the time, you know, being a Pennsylvania kid, Penn State is huge on his list. So I want to see how he's feeling when he comes out. We might need to reach back out to him. And then I want to see if PJ Dean is going to shut it down and commit, because I know I feel like we're in the driver's seat. I know UGA is trying to swing hard. They had his brother who just got drafted. That was on the old offensive line for them. But I don't feel like he has that connection with UGA like he does with Ohio State. So what we're hearing from the recruits, and this is the heat that I think Ohio State's putting on, they're bringing them in to campus. They're experienced that aura. They're seeing the brotherhood. They're seeing the commitment level from the staff and the coaching staff, and they're looking at their rooms and seeing how tight the players are, how excellent they're being coached and developed. And then they're getting the financial piece from the city of Columbus. A lot of these guys are faith-based families. So that also helps because it allows them to express themselves freely and not worry about getting judged. So it's the overall culture that Ryan Day has established at this school. We already heard Urban Meyer on the triple option say that he talked to Ryan Day and to Pantoni, and they said they're not just taking any kids. They're not going to mess up this culture for anyone or anybody. The culture is the most important. It's the foundation. It's the glue. It's the reason they were able to bounce back from 2 losses last season and to go on that natty run. So that is very attractive to these young men. Like Ohio State checks a lot of boxes for them. And you see it in all of our interviews. They all talk about it. And it's pretty obvious. So I think that's what the heat is for Ohio State. Now, other schools, whatever they're doing, they're just doing whatever they do.
Yeah, for sure. We got some other big-time visitors coming in. One of the biggest ones we have coming in is Sincere Johnson, linebacker, one of the top linebackers in the nation. Again, what James Swinias is doing in this linebacker room, I mean, I think we're in, like, legit have a shot on 3 out of the top 5 linebackers in the nation, and he just offered a 4th one. So it's kind of wild what he's got going on. But Sincere Johnson, Glenville product, was camping with Jameer Perez this weekend. A lot of people are kind of wondering. He's got a commitment date set, I believe, for July 9th or something like that.
Yeah, 19th. June
19th.
Yeah, July 19th or something like that. It's right after.
Is it June? Yeah.
He's here this weekend, so it's June 19th. Yeah, June 19th.
Oh, yeah. So some people are believing the cryptic tweets that are going out. He might be included in that list. So here's what we got going on, right? The Buckeye Twitter, they put one Buckeye out, like a buck nut, which normally means, hey, man, and Hayes Fawcett did the same thing. They put one out. So there has been a recent commitment to the Buckeyes that will be announced here shortly. We know about that one, all right? We know who that is. We know all that. We'll let that play out how it plays out. But then the Buckeye account wouldn't put out 3 more Buckeyes like that. So now it's a game of trying to figure out, okay, who are these 3 other Buckeyes that we know? And we know about one of them. We're trying to figure out who the other 2 are right now. And Sincere Johnson is one of those ones that people are assuming maybe he just pulled the trigger early, let the Buckeyes know that he's coming in. But I'll just keep it at that. Mello, I know I told you something about Sincere Johnson the other day. I'm going to hold back on that right now. But
Yeah, don't say it.
yeah. I'll hold back on that. But Sincere Johnson would be a huge pickup, not just because he's an Ohio product, but Ohio State is putting the full court press on him, just like they are Xavier Griffin or whatever. Maybe even more because he's an Ohio kid, but they really, really want him. Like, they're not playing this, oh, he's an Ohio recruit, so we can recruit him this way game. They're not playing that with him. They want him to be on the sidelines in the scarlet and gray. Mello, you got anything to add to Sincere Johnson?
Man, he'd be a great get. And I mean, that Glenville pipeline is strong, so we'll see. I think we'll get some good news out of that one.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Where do we want to go next? Okay, let's go for the offensive line. The only offensive lineman that's not committed that is coming in this weekend is top 100 offensive tackle Ikini Okpoko. Let's see. I got his information. 6'6", 280, the number 40 player nationally, the number 3 offensive lineman. He's considered to be a Georgia lean right now. A lot of people thought he would commit on the visit last week. The pressure Georgia is putting on right now for him to come out of that without committing and actually showing up to the Buckeyes official visit has made people switch kind of what they're thinking here. And here in the Buckeye Boys, we've been saying for a while now that would tell you the guys that Tyler Bowen is in on, that the articles are written on and stuff, but there's a whole other pack of guys that really haven't been talked about very much for the offensive line that the Buckeyes are in on, and he is one of them. He is showing up for an official visit. The other one who's going to be on official visit the following weekend, who should be picking up some steam, I haven't heard anybody talking about him or anything, but it's Deron Parks. Was at West Virginia, interior offensive lineman, 6'5", 350, now lives in Florida, the number 306 player nationally, the number 23 interior offensive lineman, still in contact with Coach Bo, and Coach Fry was on him pretty hard, and he wanted to be a Buckeye.
Yes.
The last interview, he wants to be a Buckeye, and I don't think that's changed. So we'll see, but he's another one to keep an eye on. That we just haven't really talked about. And there's even more. There's more. The last news as far as offensive lineman, Sam Rosenborough, he's switching his official visit. It's kind of up in the air exactly what's going on, but he's going to be at Texas this weekend. So it's possible that he switches and comes the following weekend, the June 20 through 22nd for his official visit. Mello, anything to add there?
No, I don't have much to add right there, but Dennis wanted me to tell you the new office is called the Office of Sports Intelligence and Strategy.
Boom. Yeah, my dude, Dennis. Yes, it is. Dennis, thank you for that. I literally read one little thing on it today. Didn't really look into it too much either. Let's see. I think that is it as far as official visits this weekend. So ones to really keep an eye on this weekend. You got the 2 Glenville players, Jameer Perez and Sincere Johnson. There's going to be some serious heat put on there. PJ Dean, one to keep an eye on. Oh, and this last one I did not talk about, Danny Odom, a corner, right, coming in for his official visit. The only other corner that's scheduled to come take an official visit. His recruitment is heating up big time as well. He is rising in the rankings, picking up a lot of heat there. He's coming in, and he's one of those ones that it would not surprise me one bit if he is part of this class before the weekend is up, just because we want another corner in this class. He's the only other one with an official visit scheduled. And the Buckeyes Tim Walton has had a relationship with him for quite some time now. Real good player. A lot of potential on him as well. I would not be upset at all to get his commitment. You got anything to add on him, Mello?
Nope. But I know someone was asking me about Tyler Atkinson yesterday. So, and what do I feel about where we stand? I feel like nothing has changed. I feel like he's coming to visit us next week. He's been announcing one at a time. I think his top two choices are UGA and Ohio State. He's been to UGA about 16 times. And even with that being said, he's been to Ohio State 6. He still said Ohio State was top of his list. And that was about a month ago, right before their spring game. And I don't think much has changed. People have to understand, like, Matt Patricia is really like that. It's night and day between him and Jim Knowles. He's very intelligent. He has multiple Super Bowl rings. I think 3, I believe. And then you have James Laurinaitis. James Laurinaitis is so decorated, it's ridiculous. I was talking to Zay yesterday off camera about that. Like his CV, which is really a resume, is just so stacked. Consistent All-American one time. 2 different times where he was All-American. Big Ten Player of the Year multiple years. He had a numerous amounts of trophy, the leading tackler in LA Rams history. And he ran a 4.88 40 doing this with a 33-inch vertical going into his draft process. So now you're talking about a guy that did all that, right? He even led the NFL in tackles one year. A guy that did all that with all those accolades, talking to these elite athletes that has seen him do all that, and they see Sonny Styles' development in just 1 year of playing linebacker his entire life, like not even when he was younger. So these kids see that and they're like, yes, I could develop there. I could learn from one of the best linebackers all time who's about to go into the College Football Hall of Fame. And why wouldn't he? There's not a college in the country that has James Laurinaitis as their linebacker coach. I don't care. You name it. Glenn Schumann is not James Laurinaitis. The linebacker coach at Bama, not James Laurinaitis. He even played safety when he was in college. He didn't even play the position. So it's not equal. So when I say that Tyler Atkinson is about his business, it makes sense why Ohio State will lead, especially even off the field in terms of being able to earn money. And with the new revenue sharing, social media is going to be a big factor on how they value how much you can earn. And who has the biggest fan base? The Ohio State University. It only makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. The James Laurinaitis effect, we saw it a little bit last year with Riley Pettijohn and TJ Alford and Eli Johnson. Is that his name?
Eli Lee.
Eli Lee. Yeah. Eli Johnson is a safety out of Texas. He's also going to be a Buckeye and one of the top safeties in the nation. He's been on the show. But anyway, man, Mello, we're getting too many names in our heads. We
talked to too many kids with similar names, right?
Man. But yeah, so you got that. So that was his first year as full-time linebacker coach. And to get that class, I mean, depends if you've watched Riley or TJ's film or not, but those are 2 top linebackers in the nation. I mean, Riley Pettijohn has my vote as the best linebacker in the nation last year. Go watch his. By the way, if you haven't rewatched the spring game, go rewatch the spring game and only pay attention to Riley Pettijohn and TJ Alford every time they're in, and you will see the future of the linebacker position. It's going to be very special. But then you add in what he did with Sonny Styles, a first-time linebacker, right? Him, and then also Cody Simon. When Cody got drafted, how high did he get drafted this year? Nobody was talking about that. So it's only going to get better with James. You can't be that decorated as a player, both at the college level and in the NFL, and come back. Like, name a linebacker coach in the nation that's even close, even remotely close. Like, every time we talk to linebackers that James Laurinaitis talks to, even the parents are just in awe of, like, him and how he speaks, because he's been through it at every facet of this game. So, man, it's just, you can't put a price tag on that. And you wait till I mean, what he's going to do with this linebacker room is very special. And I have no doubt that the class he signs this year, is going to be very similar. It might and possibly rival the class he signed last year.
Shout out the Bucks forever for this comment. I don't want the Atkinson kid. He's a diva. We don't need that. I appreciate your opinion, but you can be further from the truth. I live right here. The kid is about his business. He's a professional. If you don't want Atkinson, you might as well say you don't want Caleb Downs. They're very similar players. Atkinson is very smart. He's gonna maximize his dollar value. That's just what he's gonna do. That doesn't mean anything. And if you see that kid play, you would never make that comment again ever. I promise you.
That's kind of wild because it's hard these days. Right now, especially with the NCAA, it's like that's just part of the game now. It literally is. It's part of the game for these recruits to build their brand, to build their name. Like that's now incorporated into the college game. It just is. And it's just not something we're used to seeing. But a lot of these kids, you know, they got people helping them with this. Sometimes it's not even them, right, on their social media doing it. They got agents and other people helping them out. Why? Because like that's how their new evaluations are going to be figured out. They're going to go to these players' Instagram and Twitter, see how many followers they have, and 10,000 followers is going to equal a $5,000 nil deal a month or whatever it looks like. That's what it's about to look like. Like the clearinghouse, that's what they're going to be doing. So it's just part of the game now. But from everything I know about Tyler, and it comes from you, Mello, and it's that's not who he is.
I'm right here. I'm literally
right.
2 miles from his high school. I know people that know him. He's nothing like a diva. I can tell you for a fact.
And so that's why we started this channel is to give people an actual view and an actual knowledge of who these recruits are. Because I'm sure if you read all these articles and do social media, you can get an idea of who these kids are. But Tyler Atkinson, he's visiting Georgia this weekend. And it's looking like the Buckeyes are going to get the last official visit. On Con 3 is loving to put out there right now that Oregon is making a big run, made a big splash, making a big run. But I mean, that stuff's just getting so old at this point in time. It's not even funny. I mean, I think, I'm just going to say it how it is. Dude. I think Oregon's glory days were very short-lived, and I think it's over. But
especially
anyway.
with revenue sharing, like there's nothing in Oregon. Literally, it's just Nike. There's nothing out there. Maybe a bunch of like dispensaries, but also you have to look at this. If you look at how Tyler set up his OVs, right? First went to Clemson, then he went to Oregon, then UGA, then Ohio State. I think he did it in reverse order of his top list of where his schools sit. And that's my personal belief. I don't have any insight on that, except for the fact that he's come out publicly and said Ohio State is his leader and the top school for him. But if you look at it and you kind of read through the tea leaves, it shows to me that Ohio State's still in the same exact position they were a month ago.
Yeah. Dennis, you hit the nail on the head. After all these interviews with these players and their families, I mean, I am 100% convinced it don't matter how good a kid is. If he's not going to fit the culture at Ohio State, he's not going to get offered here. They're going to go after these recruits. I mean, I could list several right now that the fans thought Ohio State was really in on, really pushing for, when in fact they weren't at all. Several Ohio kids that were really high up in the rankings that all the fans thought Ohio State was really pressing for, when in fact they were not, because they did not fit the culture. And now they play for the waterfowls. Anyway. So, man, I mean, Ohio State's still on their thing. Some other news, the tight end Max Sutter that came in for his official visit with the Buckeyes had a really good official visit. Everybody was thinking Alabama, Ohio State. It is still, that's what it's coming down to. But he canceled his Penn State visit. So that's very interesting as well. And Aaron Thomas, the offensive tackle who came on the first official visit for the Buckeyes, had an official visit to Florida State. This past weekend, was supposed to go to Texas this weekend, and that is no more. He has canceled that visit to Texas. I believe he has one, the Texas A&M scheduled as well. We will see if he makes it to that one or not, but we will see. I think that's about it, man. I don't really have anything else other than this weekend on the official visits. We have some commits coming in as well. This is kind of interesting to me because wait till we go over the list of official visitors for next weekend. It's the biggest weekend that there is, but it's interesting to me. I'm wondering if Sam Greer and Max Riley and Tucker Smith are going to come to that one as well, because they're all coming this weekend.
Yeah.
But we only have one offensive lineman coming on his official visit this weekend, yet we have all our offensive line commits coming this weekend. So that's a little bit
Hold up, say that again.
Okay, so the only offensive lineman coming to visit this weekend is Akini Okaboko. That's how you say his name. But all three of the current O-line commits are also visiting officially this weekend. So I don't know. I would have thought that the Buckeyes would have wanted them there, the current commits there, when the most offensive line prospects are there. But that's not the case. So, yeah, I don't know. They also do live close enough, at least Sam and Max, that they'll probably be here next weekend as well for it. But yeah, it's exciting. So I guess to put it bluntly, man, we know that the Buckeyes are on a serious heater right now. They're putting a lot of pressure for these guys to jump into this class. We know of two commitments that I don't know when they're going to be announced at all, but we're trying to find out who are these other two. I already told you, I think Sincere Johnson might be one of them. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if one of the other ones is a 27 kid. With the camps going on, I mean, the Buckeyes just had another big camp today with the number 1 2027 quarterback coming in and visiting. I believe he's out of Louisiana. That kid's good, dude. I watched his film today and watched him there. So he's real good. Jason said, Dev, how big are you, brother? You look like a big guy on video. Mello looks like he has 12% body fat. Love you guys. Appreciate that, Jason.
Salute to my boy Jason. But Dev is a big human being. I've seen him in person. He's massive.
Your typical corn-fed.
Not as big as Kirk, but he's massive.
I weigh 230 pounds. I'm 5'11", and I can bench press 385 pounds. I don't know if that helps you with trying to decide on how big I am or not, but I'll tell you this. I don't go to the weight room to get stronger and get big. I go to the weight room to keep my mentality straight and not be a psycho. So, yeah, it's good stuff. But I think that's it, dude. I don't really have anything
You see your
else.
new nickname from Stilly?
Massive Junior.
I'm going to tell Kirk about that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Dennis,
like
you are
this
correct.
question.
Mello's way taller than I am.
I like this question right here. So, Greg, what I think is going on is that Coach Day wants not only the offense, but he wants the defense to be versatile and to be able to play anything. So that way, if you're playing any type of team, you could adjust your scheme to dominate that and to attack their weaknesses. So in essence, they're trying to make it so that there's not really that many weaknesses. So I could see them going and playing 4-3. I could see them 4-2-5, 3-4. They're trying to make it so that way they could play various schemes. It also makes it hard on OCs, especially in college, to scheme and game plan for that.
Yeah, I guess that is one more thing we can talk about, because when Matt Patricia got hired, I don't know why everybody's putting out there about how the scheme's going to remain the same. It's going to look a lot like Jim Knowles. But I guess I'll just tell you that's just not true. It's not about to happen. I think we're going to see a way bigger difference than what people think. And I think it stems from the fact that Matt Patricia is really big. Oh, freaking Nats, dude, is really big on using the strengths of the current players. And you look at CJ Hicks, you look at Sonny Styles, you look at Arvell Reese, you look at our our horrible depth at D tackle, whatever you want to talk about. But the point is that, I mean, Peyton Pierce, right? If you look at this team and the strengths we have on this team, it would make sense to initiate, right, more of like an Alabama defensive scheme where you have players like Xavier Johnson and what was the Hill guy, Justin Hill, who'd we lose from Ohio? That type of player coming in here, because we seem to lose a lot of recruits like that. And but we got players like Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles on the team now, and CJ Hicks. And I think we're going to see a lot more different schemes this year than what people are thinking or even doing. Because a lot of people are like, man, they don't want to switch the system up, man. Listen, dude, we're talking about Ohio State. We're talking about Ohio State caliber recruits. They can handle switching up the defensive scheme in a season and get it down pat. Like I have faith that they can do that. Like that's what these guys are. That's what they do, man. So we'll see.
I mean,
but yeah,
those linebackers, they could all do something different, right? They could all do. Each one of them could do multiple things, is what I mean to say. Not that they all do something different from each other, which they do. So, like, that just allows so much versatility, and especially when you have elite DBs behind them. Our defensive line is going to be pretty nasty, especially the starters. So, really, it's all about getting people behind the sticks so that way they're in obvious passing downs on third down, and then it's a wrap. Honestly, it's going to be tough for you. It's going to be a nightmare to go against. I like this question, Dev. This comment from Elite Sports King. We might get Sincere, Atkinson, and Griffin. That would be godly. Listen, if James Laurinaitis pulls that off, then we're going to start talking about him in the same breath that we talk about Coach Hartline. Because that to get the number 1 and number 2 linebacker nationally out of the same state of Georgia would be insane. And then to keep Sincere as well, that would be ridiculous. And then at that point, with Riley and TJ, Dev, you can answer this. I want to ask you a question. With Riley and TJ, say those 3 happen, right? They commit. And then you have Riley and TJ next year in Arvell. Do you think that they're going to be forced to have to switch the scheme because the linebackers are just that good?
Well, I guess let me take a step back. I guess I'm going to be that dude. And sorry. I think we got about a 5% chance of landing all 3 of those. In today's day and age with college football, that has nothing to do with how good of a recruiter James Laurinaitis is or what these recruits thinks about Ohio State. It literally just goes to room on a team, man. You can't have 5 5-star linebackers on a team in today's day and age with all that stuff. And here's where I'm at, Mello. Let's say that he lands Sincere Johnson in one of Xavier Griffin or Tyler Atkinson, and he's already got CJ Sauna. I don't think he needs to land all 3 to be in the same breath as James or as Brian Hartline. I think if he lands Sincere Johnson, a top 5 linebacker in the nation, and then another top 5, and 1 or 2, one of the Atkinson or Xavier Griffin, which I think is going to happen, that is epic. He just signed 2 top 10 linebackers last year. Now he's going to sign 2 top 5 linebackers this year. Dude, I mean, come on, man. That is Hartline-esque to a T. I mean,
and I got to put this out there, Dev. I don't know if you agree with this. I got Riley Pettijohn, freshman All-American. I think he's going to do it.
The only way I wouldn't see that happening is just because of how many dudes we have on this team, right? I'm just not quite sure he's gonna get. My question to you: I don't know much about the freshman All-American. How many plays does a freshman have to play to be in that category? Do you?
I think it's just a stats thing. You know what I mean?
Is it? Yeah.
You just got to put up some numbers.
Listen. If he gets on the field enough, yes, it's going to happen. Go watch Riley Pettijohn's spring game highlight. He is so fast, and he has such an instinct for the ball. It's ridiculous. I haven't seen a linebacker like Riley Pettijohn at Ohio State for quite some time. I haven't personally. But You just go watch him, man. He's ridiculous. And TJ Alford, he's going to knock people's heads off. He's the Lathan Ransom of linebackers. He's a freaking truck stick, dude. He's ridiculous. But yeah, what James Laurinaitis is ridiculous. What he's doing is ridiculous. But yeah, hey, about that interview last night, let's just talk about this for a second. Let's talk about Xavier Griffin, right? Okay, so chat. Let me hear. Where do you guys think Xavier Griffin is going to sign at? Put it in the chat. Where do you think he's signing at? My guess is a lot of people are going to say Alabama, to which I would have said as well. You go to his mom's Twitter page and it says Bama made. But I don't know if you guys caught this or not. Go back and watch the interview. When the recruiting was first going on, when he committed to USC, we heard his mom say that they were all Buckeyes. Except her son did not fit the scheme, Jim Knowles' scheme, right? And then we heard her say how excited she was to find out, right, that he now fits the scheme, okay? And I think Nick Saban leaving Alabama really changed a lot of people's minds on it, rightfully so. I mean, so I don't know. Maybe I'm going to overstep my bounds here a little bit, but you have Ohio State in the Block O, right? Do you think Alabama in their A is anywhere near us? Or do you think it's Saban that put Alabama up there? Does that make sense what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Alabama is on our level. Like, you look at the Block O, it's the Block O. Don't matter what coach comes in.
Yep.
How about
Alabama
Bama?
only was good when they had Bear Bryant and Nick Saban. The rest of the years, they were not that good.
Yeah, I don't know. So, sorry, Bama fans, but that's just the way I'm thinking. But anyway, long story short, I think we can throw out this. If you're thinking he's going to sign with Bama because they're from Alabama and all that stuff, I think it's fair to say that we can throw that out. Throw that thought out of your mind. That's not the case. This is not an Alabama lock at all. I'm just telling you right now. It is not an Alabama lock. I mean, he said it's going to come, he's got his decision date set and he still hasn't found out exactly which one that was. But if I had to put money on it, I would say that if I had to pick where his parents wanted him to sign, I'm going with the Buckeyes right now. That's what I'm going with. And that's based off of the interview that we had. So go back and listen to that and make your own assumption there. But I also do know that they're about to be on an Alabama show, I think tonight or tomorrow, something like that. So we'll see what he says on that one. I'm going to go watch that one too.
And they're going to be in Texas this weekend.
Yeah. So we'll see. But it's just, I'm really intrigued to find out some more information about how teams are handling nil with this new NCAA thing. I think that's got a lot of teams in a kind of a frantic mess right now, but not Ohio State, because Ohio State has been doing things this way. The teams that are in a frantic mess, the Oregons, the Texas, maybe not so much, but they still just be straight. Texas be straight buying players. That's what Texas does. That's what Oregon does. That's what Ole Miss does. That's what USC does, right? And you're noticing the NCAA thing come out, and then what teams right now are on a pretty big heater? Ohio State and Georgia. I wonder why. That is. So I don't know. We'll see, but expect some announcements coming here very shortly for Ohio State commitments. I'm excited about that. Make sure you keep that alert bell on for the Buckeye boys. We still got some more big-time interviews coming up. Darius Gray, for sure. We'll get his insight on this official visit. And just want to remind people what we here at the Buckeye boys have been telling you, that this is going to be the best offensive line class that has been signed at Ohio State since I can personally remember. I'm standing very firm on that, and I believe we're going to wrangle in about 6 offensive linemen this year. I mean, even the class we have, if we stopped right now, it's the best class we've seen in 5 years. So like, I'm not sure the level we're dealing with. And defensive line real fast, Mello. Can you see us landing Deuce Geralds?
Yes.
Can you see us landing PJ Dean?
Yes.
Can you see us landing Jameer Perez?
Absolutely. I think we're flipping him this weekend.
Can you see us landing Kari Wilder?
We already did.
Okay, we already did. Can you see us landing Luke Waffle?
I do.
Okay.
There's going to be, and that one's going to be, I think that one's more 50-50 between us and Penn State just because his brother goes there, his family ties is close to Princeton. But I really think he sees the upside at being Ohio State, and he can be to his brother like, hey, I'm in Columbus. Sucks for you, sucker. You out there in the middle of nothing.
Yeah. The point behind that was Deuce Gerald's top 100 player, defensive lineman. PJ Dean, top 100 player, defensive lineman. Kari Wilder, top 100 freaking player, not rated, but go watch his film, and he's playing at elite talent, like 80-inch wingspan. Get your facts straight. Come on now. So, I mean, we're in on those, and somehow Larry Johnson is still not doing his job. I don't shoot. I don't know.
It's crazy, right? He had one class, the Edric Houston class. He kind of fumbled, but Edric Houston was a massive get. You're going to see how big and how important he is this season. But last year, you guys are downplaying what we took. Those guys are elite. They're going to do elite things here at Ohio State. They're going to help us win a natty.
But think about the two classes that Larry Johnson struggled on. Those were the 2 years when Nil was just getting out of control, like all new to. And Ohio State refused to play that game, right? And if they're going to refuse to play that game, then there's going to be a learning curve there for the entire team to figure out how do we do this here, right?
Right.
Last year, we saw him get it figured out. Essentially, Larry Johnson signed 7 defensive linemen last year, if you include Logan George and Bo Atkinson in that class. 7 defensive linemen that he signed, and they're all pretty skillful. I think people are just upset that we didn't get those top-rated guys, but even so, we signed 2 top 15 defensive ends in the nation, and Epi Sentinelli and what's his name?
Ziggy Grady.
Yeah, and Ziggy Grady. And then Jarquez Carter was just
monster.
Underrated as all get out. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know if you guys, I don't know if you're listening. I don't know if you've caught on or not, but I'm a fan of Larry Johnson.
Jr. He's Warren Sapp Jr.
Yeah. I'm a fan of Larry Johnson. I'm just not worried about it. Just not worried about it at all. And listen, the whole this Kari Wilder thing really opened my eyes when so many people put articles out about how Matt Patricia deserves so much credit. And then you see an article where Kari Wilder's talking. He literally talks about Larry Johnson the entire time. It's just one of the funniest things ever. I wish more people could see that, right? That we're so in depth with recruiting like I was and you are, to read all these articles and see what's really going on. Take a step back and look at the overall picture and just like, man, there is a big time push out there to make Larry Johnson look like he's struggling. I don't get it. But Dad,
that's why we have this show, to bring the kids right directly to them. And you know, when I never doubted LJ, but you know when I really didn't doubt LJ is when we had Jake Cruel come on and he said he's not worried if LJ leaves because LJ said he's still going to be in the building. He's not leaving Columbus. He just might not be the D-line coach anymore, but he still will be like be in there helping as well. And he's going to help handpick the next D-line coach. So he feels very confident that Ohio State is going to pick the right guy to lead that room either way, and that LJ will still be around. So when people are trying to pump all this LJ hate, it's just crazy because the main people pumping it is our own beat reporters. That's who the main people that are pumping this news about LJ. It's coming from the beat, which is just insanity.
Yeah, I know it is. But I was about to say something. I forgot what it was.
Someone's asking about Jameer Brown.
Yeah, I saw Jameer Brown and Brady Edmonds out there. Jameer Brown, that's our dude here in the Buckeye Boys. He is a Buckeye boy. He's been on this show several times. Just a freaking heck of a dude, man. Really
that's
cool to talk to.
That's why I wanted you to tell them to go watch the interview we did with him.
Yeah. So go watch that interview. He'll be on this show 10 more times before he ever steps on the field being a Buckeye. So you got questions about Jameer Brown, let us know. We will answer them. As far as the recruits that are committed that that general population does not know about, as soon as we get the green light to let you guys know, we will be letting you know. So keep an eye on our Twitter. Shoot, we might come on here and do a show if we have it and we've got permission to say it. We'll come on here and be the first to announce the commitment, just so we can show Con 3 up. So Mark, we know who the next commits are, and we will be sharing that as soon as we are able to do so. We'll also just keep you guys updated with anything that we know. Again, just to clarify, me and Mello do this show for fun. We have a hell of a time doing it. We love interacting with you guys. We're not in this for money to get popular or any of that stuff. We legit just have a good time. And we're very passionate about recruiting. Like, I don't know, the calling that God has on my life is to show people that there is always hope in life, like no matter what situation you're in. And somehow that is combined with recruiting. I love hearing these stories from these young men and their families. I love hearing stories of success. And if you are being recruited by Ohio State, that is a story of success. So I love interviewing these kids. And I also want them to have a fair shot at showing the nation who they are, because I also think that recruiting has kind of taken a little bit of a dark turn in terms of making kids out to be something they're not. Hey, do you want to say hi to everybody on the live stream? Yeah.
Hey. How you doing?
I'm in Spain right now, and I can't. Just call me when you finish.
I'll call you back. Bye-bye. I'm in trouble.
What? What'd you do, man?
Never. I've known this, but you never show a woman's face to several people unless you have permission.
Hold on. She didn't
You know
give you
what I mean?
permission?
No. No.
Oh, man.
No.
That is funny. Oh, you're going to have to buy her a bag. But tell her the chat and the family loves her.
I know, but she don't. She would have checked her makeup first. She would have looked, she would have made sure she was presentable before.
Yeah.
She always is, but whatever.
Tell her
anyway,
she looks fine. She looks great.
Yeah. What was I saying?
Someone was asking about Cujo, Karis, and Beth.
Cujo's out there doing his thing, man. Cujo's out there being a thug, dude. I seen him the other night, but he dipped on me. Dipset. He's having a good time. So, we'll see. But I forget what I was talking about when Angie called me.
So do I.
Anyway,
we'll
recruiting. Let you know. Yeah, whatever.
About your passion for recruiting.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, we love getting them on here so you guys can make a decision on who these kids are, because I mean, the media puts out here these things, and us as fans, we always think, well, that guy's a diva. Well, that guy just wants money. Well, that guy, and a lot of our thoughts can be negative sometimes. I just don't think that's fair to do to a teenager, to a 16, 15, 16, 17-year-old. So it's like, hey, dude, I just want to get them on here, have a conversation with them, and you guys can decide who they are, show their true colors and whatnot. And every time we've done it, these have been great individuals, kind of as we suspected. So, yeah. But on that note, man, we got to get out of here. Buckeyes about to come on. Mello, any final thoughts real quick?
Man, thank you guys for joining us, man. Recruiting is on the up and up. They're on a hot streak right now, and it's just going to keep getting hotter over the next 2 weeks. Stay tuned. Stay relaxed. We're going to have one of the best recruiting classes, I think, in Ohio State history, and one of the best in the country. It's going to be hard to catch number one with the size class that USC has and the way they're paying them. Now, if something happens and they stop paying them, you'll start seeing kids flip out of that class. But as of right now, it's going to be tough to catch them. But I expect us to finish top 3.
Yeah, for sure. But on that note, guys, we appreciate the heck out of you guys. We love you guys. We'll catch up on trivia next week. Go Buckeyes. OH.
IO.